Alright, I got a great question the other day from a friend of mine who really doesn't have a lot of time to practice and wanted to know what is the most efficient way that he can practice and get better each day when he maybe can get an hour out of his day to practice. It's a great question and one that I currently have a challenge with myself. When I was younger, what I used to do is I would always play with the stereo, the radio, or whatever. It doesn't matter what song came on, I used to play along with that. So that's one of the best ways for me to really get up to speed, and you can practice everything you need, hammer-ons, trills, sweep, anything you want to do, it's right there for you. But in saying that, the very, very first thing I would do is I would warm up. Always warm up. You don't want to have trouble later on with carpal tunnel or anything else that can happen if your muscles aren't properly warmed, which right now mine aren't. And I kind of did that on purpose so that I can demonstrate this to you and show you what I would do. Now, my normal warm-up is to go up and down the fret, doing a sort of chromatic style, and then going through all the positions up and down the neck and doing some other configurations. But you only have an hour, so that whole thing, that might take you an hour, especially if you're new at it and don't have it down. So what I would do, the first thing is I would just do that little semi-chromatic thing that I always warm up with. I actually got this from a dude named Jeff Watson, who was a guitar player for Night Ranger back in the 80s. Okay, I talked to him one day. That's my claim to fame, I guess. So anyway, this little deal is just a 4-finger exercise, using all 4 fingers and just going. Probably want to get a metronome when you're doing this. All the way up, back down. Okay, then go to the next fret. Do the same thing. Let's speed up here, that's good. Okay, all the way up and probably all the way down. The next thing I would do, I would probably do patterns, but what you can do is just take the minor, the natural minor scale, and just do that up and down the fret, the neck. Next fret. Okay, go all the way up, go all the way down if you can. What that does is it also gets all your fingers involved, gets coordination between your fingers and pick, and your fingers are having to stretch out a little bit. So I would probably do both of those in a crunch. Now, like I was saying before, what I would also do, once I did that warm-up and my hand's feeling pretty decent, I would put the radio on. YouTube, they have backing tracks on there all the time. I didn't have that back in my day when I was learning, but I do it now. Put songs on for YouTube that you like. Use your iPod. Use the TV. TVs a lot of time have music stations that you can play to, and just play to those songs. Now, as a soloist, what I would do is I would not necessarily play the rhythm to those songs. At this point, I would just play solos over the songs, and I wouldn't play the solos that the person that wrote that song or played that song played. I would just practice whatever I needed to practice. So if I needed to practice hammer-ons or trills or picking or tapping or whatever, or all of the above, then I would do all that inside that song. Let me give you a little demonstration, something like this. This is a song in the key of E, Iron Maiden song, this one. It doesn't have to be, it can be any song you want to, obviously. But this is just one. What I prefer are songs that have a lot more rhythm going on behind them. The same kind of structure instead of songs that have a lot of stops or anything like that. But you can use those ones that have a lot of stops to kind of practice your rhythm, if that's what you want to practice. So, now let's check it out. This is what I would probably do. When I was younger, I used to do this all the time. And just kind of keep on going. Get my endurance going. What I like about this too is you have that backing. do whatever you want. You gotta practice your bends. You gotta practice your hand runs. Practice your picking. Okay, I don't know. I like to really do the trills. That's a really good exercise practice. Hammer on or tapping. Okay, it gives you an idea. Just kind of playing around. I mean, I was just trying to do everything, trying to get my hands going, my pig going, my finger, just trying to get everything loosened up and using the rhythm of the song and messing around within that context. Another thing you can do, which is very effective, is just be your own rhythm. Let's say you don't have the iPod or you don't have a YouTube or anything around, you just want to jam by yourself. No problem. Do a little blues thing. Matter of fact, you don't have to. You have the metal line. You don't have to. Okay, or you put the middle on. Try staying in the confines of the rhythm. Hard to do when you haven't warmed up properly, but you get the idea. Go over and over, and that's a real fun thing to do. Be your own little jam, play a little solo, play a little rhythm, play a little rhythm, play a little solo, back and forth, back and forth. Alright, so I hope that helps, and if it doesn't, if you need more help with that, let me know, and I'll be glad to answer your questions and help as much as I can. Alright, peace out.